Hello,
We are back, baby.
back with a normal episode. We've done a few weeks of interviews and stuff, so we're going back to
I
the
know
regular
we've
format.
had a lot of guests. I've missed my just sit around and complain with Ian time.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
had to put on my shiny face. You know, when Taylor comes on the show, you gotta be all happy. And now let's
Yeah.
just complain about some stuff,
We
man.
could do that. We could do that. I love that. That's my favorite thing.
It was funny. Somebody said on Twitter that when they'd never seen Taylor more alive than when you two started talking about Star Wars.
I should dig up that episode. We did an episode of I had this little podcast for like 5 or 10 episodes, anything but code, which was
I remember
similar
that.
to mostly
Yeah,
technical,
I remember
obviously.
that.
And yeah, we did a couple. We did. It was episode 7, or I think when it came out, we did a podcast about it. So yeah, Star Wars, man. He was drinking. I didn't notice this real time, but somebody pointed out that he's
I
drinking
didn't
separate
either.
Coke Zeros from
He
different
was
sides of his desk. He's just
double
like,
fisting Coke Zeros.
oh, we had him in
That's
his
peak
zone.
performance, baby.
Yeah. I never thought I'm like so anti-soda, and I never thought my podcast would become a platform for Big Soda. But I feel like
Yep.
it's just all the time. It's Big Soda's on here, getting in, weaseling
Rubbing
in,
it in our
paying us.
faces.
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
free
now
advertising
that
for Big Soda.
I'm anti-soda, everybody's like, "Hey, let's tag Aaron every time I drink a soda," and I'm like, "No."
Next guest we have on is just gonna have one of those like beer hats, but it's just gonna be like Coke Zero getting piped into their mouth from
God,
2
that
straws.
is the dream. Oh man, I would love to have one of those full of Diet Cokes.
How is your going cold turkey on your soda situation? You all right?
Yeah,
Hanging in?
it's fine. Yeah, I get one maybe every week or 2 weeks. I'll like
Take
be
the edge
driving
off.
around and I'll drive through McDonald's and get, one and feel like I'm alive again. But it's fine. I really haven't had one from the can in a couple of months. And it's okay. It's not great. I would love to drink soda, but I think, and I hate that I'm about to say this, I think I feel a little bit better.
Oh,
I know.
wow.
Don't you
How
hate
terrible.
that? I hate that. There's
When you-
nothing worse than resisting something and then doing it and finding out that everyone was right. That is like,
Yep.
man,
terrible.
that's the worst. But yeah, I think I feel a little bit better. I'm sleeping better. And honestly, I think I feel like my stomach feels better. I think I was pounding, 3 or 4 sodas a day, and I'm not sure that's good for the old, whatever gut health is. That's made up, but I don't know if it affects this. So yeah, I feel a little bit better.
That's good. Yeah, caffeine, all that sugar. It's like I had this the other day where like I made a oatmeal, right? Like I boiled the steel cut oats, I like steel cut oats. I boiled them, right? And I wanted cinnamon brown sugar oatmeal, right? And so I'm like, oh man, all right, how much sugar to put in? And I made a half a cup of steel cut oats, so like kind of a bigger amount. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a tablespoon of brown sugar, which is like a lot of sugar. And I was like, how much sugar is in a tablespoon? It's probably like 100 grams. I don't even know. It's 12 grams of sugar. And I was like, this seemed like an insane amount of sugar to put in,
Wow.
like when you scoop it. And I'm like, a can of Coke's got like 56 or
50,
something like
yeah.
that. Yeah. So it's like if I took 4 of these and put them into some water and spun it up, that's like what 1 can of Coke is.
Oh
And I'm like,
man,
if
that's
you
some
had to actually
good
put
water
the
right
sugar
there.
in there,
Shoot, I would
no,
love
I
that.
don't think so. If you had to like literally make your own soda by putting the sugar into it, you'd be like, holy cow, it's an unbelievable amount of sugar. But yeah. I had also a similar thing where I started, I've become a morning person.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I've switched sides. I've always been a late night person. Been switching to morning person. So I wake up at like between 5:30, 6:15 in
Whoa.
there. I like do a meditation and I go for a walk. I do my 3-mile walk every morning, just about.
You're
Just
a
about, like,
new
one of those couple
man.
days. I'm a new man. And I have to say, I think it is better. I'm still, my brain is processing it a little bit weirdly. Like at night, I'm like, oh, shouldn't I be like coding something or doing
Right,
something?
yeah.
Right. Like, so, and then I'm just too tired by like 10 o'clock to like start doing anything. So I'm like, okay, I can't, I like literally can't do it. But yeah, I think it is better. Like starting your day with like a walk and being outside and like
In the
pretty good.
quiet.
Yeah, quiet, or just listen to a podcast, which I feel like I haven't had time for in forever. So I'll listen to some podcasts or audiobook, or
Man,
just be amongst the birds or whatever. And
I
it's like,
hate that. It is
I know,
true.
it's terrible.
It is very true that like waking up early and starting your day early just feels better.
Ah, it's so
It's
bad.
just better, and I hate it so
It's
much.
so bad.
At this rate, I'm gonna try being a vegan and doing CrossFit, and I'm gonna be like, shoot, they were right too. But
It's gonna be horrible.
it's horrible. Waking up early is better. I have a hard time doing it. I don't do it much anymore. But there was a period where I was waking up at like 5:30 or 6, and it was just better. I just felt like I got so much more accomplished. I would look up and it's 11 o'clock, and I'm like, well, that was a good day. I did a lot
Right,
of
did
good
a full
work
day.
there. Yeah.
That's what I
So
was
I
thinking.
know.
Even that, I'm not even utilizing it that way. I'm taking it more on the like cleanse my mind, lower stress kind of angle to it, and just get some exercise. But
A little more of the
even
woo woo
a
instead of the
little more woo
capitalism.
woo,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But even if I wanted to, or sometimes needed to go capitalist on it, it's like, well, if I woke up at 6, like I'd probably be a lot fresher. Like if I jumped into working, I'd probably do a lot better stuff between 6 and 8 than I do from 11 to 1. Like that's just
Yes,
probably,
for
right?
sure.
Presumably I'm going to be more awake and aware and all that stuff. So even for that, it's probably better. And of course, my wife has been like trying to get me to do this for literally 20 something
Oh
years. And
no.
so,
Well, I hope she
it's like
doesn't listen. You
brutal.
can't
She
tell
does
her.
listen
Yeah.
too. I
Oh,
know, it's so
no,
bad.
Jamie,
Yeah.
you're right. Ian was wrong.
Usually she
Sorry.
listens anyway. Maybe she'll miss this one. We can
Hopefully
hope.
she misses this one. Yeah.
Yeah. But so that's been good. I don't know. We'll see how winter goes. It's not like Texas where it's just nice all year long. And
Mm-hmm.
we do have a treadmill, but walking on a treadmill is not.
No.
Yeah, I don't love that as
Soulless.
much.
Yeah.
I like being outside. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But all right, everybody's getting healthy on the Mostly Technical podcast.
Yeah,
we're
I was
ready.
trying, man. That's what happens when you get old.
Yeah, you gotta start. I mean, that's the thing. Is like I've always tried different workout strategies, and like I inevitably like hurt myself, or I just stopped doing it, or whatever. And so I've just reset on a totally different strategy, which is just walk. Like I'm just starting with walking, like 3 miles, 4 miles. I'm just starting there because like you just sit and do literally nothing all day in this job,
Yes.
and it's like I'm gonna be able to walk, I'm not gonna hurt myself, and that's all gonna be fine. And so that's my strategy so far. It's been going good, like a month or so this, so we'll see how it goes. But I've been really liking it. Definitely feel a big difference, even just physically. Like it does when you're doing nothing, going from nothing to walking 3 or 4 miles, you actually do feel a lot. Like at some point, presumably I'll probably like whatever. I could up it, go faster, whatever. But like phase 1 is just actually use my body in a normal way. Let's start there instead of just sitting all day. So
oh man, diet and exercise.
God, what a lame podcast.
What a lame freaking answer to how do you feel better? Diet and exercise.
We're gonna
That's
be talking
the
about
worst thing
fiber
ever.
soon and all kinds of stuff. Man, this is rough. Here.
We already complained about the technology kiddos, and now we're talking about diet and exercise. We might as well just move into the home, Ian.
Where we're a couple weeks ago, we're throwing down with the JavaScript kids. Now we're walking and waking up early. We're getting our fiber. Like, what a transition this is for the listeners.
Such is life.
Yeah.
All right, what are we doing today?
I had a crazy week, man.
Tell me. I love a crazy week.
Crazy. This is one of these weeks. It's been on our calendar for like a year. And it's just like every week, you're a week closer to this upcoming week that's on your calendar. It's going to be stressful.
This is foreboding, yeah.
It's good, but it's stressful. It's all 3 kids. The alignment of my children's ages are such that all 3 of them this year had a graduation in the same week.
Oh, man.
So it was absolute chaos.
So what are they graduating from? Give me the rundown.
The big one, high school. Got the high school graduation.
Right.
With accompanying party, of course. Which was on Sunday. And then we had a middle school graduation.
Great. What is that? Graduating out of 8th grade?
Yeah, 8th to 9th. Yep.
Okay.
So out of 8th grade and then out of 5th grade. So grade school graduation. So
grade school. Okay.
All of them were between Wednesday and Friday in different times. And the high school one had a dinner the night before. And, so we're prepping for this party that we're throwing that we're not doing at our house. So we're having to box up stuff and haul it around and get it all prepped for shipping it around in my truck, and so it was a lot, but everything turned out good.
You made it.
It was very nice. I made it through.
Okay.
Everybody was happy. At my kids' school, the older 2, they actually give speeches, so it's not just like the graduation is not just like they get handed a little diploma thing and walk back to their seat. they got up there and did a several-minute speech, so that was really cool. The middle schooler was quite anxious about this, but he executed very well, so it was really cute to see him up there and enunciating and taking his
Mm-hmm.
time, and he did a great job with it. And then the older one did a really good job with his. He was nervous, I think, but he didn't at least express it to us as much his nerves. So, um, yeah, family and photos and all the things.
It's a
So yeah,
big
we made it
week,
through.
man.
Yeah, it was a big week. It was just all like back to back to back 3 days in a row. It's just like you don't even get that breather of like we can
No.
crash for a day or anything. But luckily, work was all right. Not a big drama at work, so that was good. We didn't have any servers collapse or anything weird, and so it was no extra stuff. But yeah, it's a really cool stage. I think in the future it'll be nice. Like, so in 4 years we'll have the same thing with the older two, but at least like
Oh
one will
yeah.
be college. So that
Uh-huh.
happens like a month before the high school one. So we'll have a break in there. So we shouldn't have this exact scenario again of everybody literally all at once. That was a little life achievement, little badge there.
Man, that is getting getting one graduated from high school. Is he going off to college?
Yep, he's going
Is he going to
to
live in like on campus so he's out of the
Yep,
house?
he's gone.
Whoa.
Shipping him out.
Wow.
Which we didn't live on campus. We commuted where Jamie and I went. So yeah, this will be the first in the direct family of either side to go live at college. I believe there's like cousins who have and stuff, but
Cool.
none of the parents or grandparents or anybody like that's lived at college. So that'll be fun and new and exciting. We'll see how that goes. So that's where we got a couple months there. So hopefully that's our next big on the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
Bring the kids to school, see how that goes.
You're gonna have 2 kids in the house and not 3.
It's gonna be crazy. That's gonna
I've
be
only ever
quite the
known
change.
increasing children in the house, not decreasing. That's
It
crazy.
could decrease eventually.
That's
Yeah, so
amazing.
it's gonna be interesting too because it's gonna really change the dynamic. I don't know, and they all
Yeah.
3 have very different personalities. So like his personality not being there will be just a change, and then the other 2 are more kind of into doing kind of activities and things like
Mhm.
structured activities. So like, I don't know, how does that change things? I'm not sure. Like, I don't know. We'll be 4 people when we go places, which will be
Oh, man.
unbelievable. I'm
That's
so
gonna be
happy
awesome.
for that.
Society
That's
is
the best
built for
part.
families of 4.
100%. This is why everybody's
Yes.
out there complaining there's not enough kids. The society's like, if you have more than 4 people in your family, we don't want you. Don't come into our restaurant.
Correct.
Don't come to our
Yep.
theme park.
Don't get
come
our
anywhere.
Uber. Yep.
Don't get an Uber. You can't get an Uber. You can't do anything with
Can't do
more than
anything.
4 people. So
Can't do anything.
that's going to be quite the revelation for
I don't even
8
think we
months
can
of the year.
fly as a family now because you have to
Too big.
have. I think you have to have 2 adults in a row. Like you can't have because of the
Oh.
oxygen masks and the responsible parties. Like there have to be a certain number of adults to kids, and I think we're too many kids.
Really?
We're too many kids that are too young. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, because
Wow.
when we flew with the babies, we couldn't just sit like, me and 2 babies in a row. It had to be like I sat with one baby and Jennifer sat with one baby.
Really? I wonder if you
Yeah.
could do baby, human, baby,
Babies
human,
are
baby.
humans, Ian.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, though. I use that term on purpose. But if you had a baby on each side of the adult, then maybe
Yeah.
that is sufficient?
I don't think so. I think it
Wow.
was, and it could have been under the age of 2, and so now that ours are 3,
Maybe.
it might be
Yeah.
okay. But it was. I
Mm.
specifically remember
Wow.
Jennifer and I had to book seats on different sides of the aisle so that one could hold one baby and one could hold the other.
Wow. Yeah. Flying though, same thing. It's like, oh, you can sit together in the middle thing with 4, but then when you go to 5, you can't. Who's going to
Yep.
get ejected to the other
Yep.
side or in front or whatever? and
Roller coasters, pairs of 2. So
roller
you
coasters.
got one kid left out.
Yeah, normally
Yep.
it means like multiple people are left out because it ends up being like, well, just 2 people go and forget
Yep.
it. Like, so yeah, you guys are in real rough shape there because it's like one,
Real
you're gonna
rough
have
shape.
3, which is a weird number too a
Real
lot of
rough shape.
times. So
Yeah.
like,
And you know what? This graduation stuff, it might hit us like a brick wall because there is a possibility. I don't know this for sure. there's a possibility that our older two kids start school, like they get held back basically because their birthdays are in May.
Right.
So that's kind of right on the bubble of
Yeah.
do we hold them back or do we start them? We'll probably hold them back at this rate.
Hmm.
Which means we could have 4 kids that are 1 grade apart. Which means we're going to go from 4 kids in the house to 0 kids in the house like that.
That's crazy.
It's going to be a blink
optimal,
of an
though,
eye,
to be
and we're
honest
going
with
to
you,
have
but
0 kids in the house. And I think it's going to hit us. It's going to hit us pretty hard.
yeah, that might be a little tight, but I also think this stretching it out, because like once you get the first one done, it's like, okay, like first one's out of high school,
Yeah.
when they're out of the house, and it's like, oh, but there's 7 more years to go. So like it's not really like
Yep.
you could totally change it. We're not moving or like whatever. Like it's like we can't blow up our life and do a bunch of different stuff yet either. So it's like, well, we thought to get these other 2 out. So that's like a very stretched out process, whereas you're going to suffer a lot of pain all along the way because you have this such incredible number. We're basically all the same age.
Such an incredible
but
number.
Then when they all leave, that will be kind of nice because you'll be able to be like, boom, we can like, we want to move to Vegas. We want to do whatever. We want to go. Whatever we want to do,
but it's not going to be Vegas. Let's see.
Go up north.
I'm going to go up north for sure. In 18 years, I will be 53 years old.
Yep.
So 53 with 0 kids in the house. That's going to be wild.
Yeah. That's about what I'll be 54, I guess, when the baby leaves. So pretty similar, I guess.
Okay, you'll have to let me know how it is.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't know. It's going to be, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be nice because so the other problem we've always had in the world not built for this many kids is all the kids, for various reasons, too complicated to get into right now, have often been in either different schools or different parts of the same school with different schedules and different things going on, which is its own crazy nightmare. And now so in addition to one kid leaving and kind of change the dynamic there, both kids are at the same school with the same schedule, the other 2. So now it's like going to really open up the day, and they're required to stay till 5 most of the year they have to play sports basically. And so now that does actually open up the day a lot more. It's like 8 to 5. Kids are out of the house during the school year. They're on the same schedule for vacations and things. The oldest one's just doing his own thing, but he's old, so whatever, he'll float back in when he has breaks or whatever. But yeah, so it's going to be quite a different dynamic shift once we get to the fall. We'll see how it goes, but there is some that part's going to be a nice little life change there.
Well, somehow in all of this hustle and bustle, you've still found time to pick fights on Twitter with the JS boys.
You gotta
I
make
feel
time
like
for that.
you have come alive. You're poking the beast. What's going on over there?
Well, I mean, I think like this. The tweet we have listed here was actually before. It was somewhat before the somewhat before the graduation times. But I don't know. I mean,
I feel like you've been super spicy. Yeah,
I have been a little spicy because okay. So here's my main thing that it's hard to convey on Twitter. Right? Is like, and I do think there's some of these JS guys are just bad. That's just it, and that's fine. Some of them I think are just like I think Dax and Adam are great guys and stuff like that. Adam's not even a JS guy, I don't think. But like, so that side of the world I think gets it. But to me, I just feel like I only care about software because I care about building things, right?
Yes.
And the software is a means to an end.
Correct.
And that end might be helping people, that end might be making money, that end might be providing, whatever the end goal you have, it requires building the software to accomplish a goal. Whereas I feel like in the JavaScript world, there's a lot of people just building software to build software, to talk about building software, or to be cool on Twitter.
Build more software. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they're not like, they don't really have a strong understanding of like what most of the rest of the software world is trying to do, which is to build something for a reason that has an end goal beyond the software in and of itself. Like they're not necessarily trying to build software just to build software because building software is fun. Although that is part of it, and I have fun building software, but that's not my only goal in building software. So I think this is where most of the angst comes from. And when I try to point out things that are more logical and how business people and people who build software for the most part think about it. That's a very different than somebody who doesn't think that way and just wants to like post cool memes on Twitter and get a bunch of reactions. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know
the
which
tweet,
if we go deeper.
One of the tweets you sent was that you've had a customer for 19 years.
Yeah.
19 years.
We should, this is a good tweet to talk about because like this one, it's not even totally at the JS guides, right? But it is a little bit of a side swipe.
It was on theme. It was a little bit of Ian's. It was a little bit of Ian's. Like, I'm a serious business person.
And you guys are out here like, this is cool. Let's spend a week talking about the 3 millisecond difference from when you VPN to Guam and back and whatever. And it's like, okay, we could talk about that. Okay, before we talk about this tweet, what's your take on this? Because here's another thing.
Oh yeah, here we go.
This has bothered me in this whole JavaScript thing.
Okay.
And I'm assuming everybody's up to speed because we did talk about it with Taylor last week too. But it's like you're testing over 3G, right?
Okay.
And I feel like, again, this is like an area of like there's just a lack of real world experience because I've used 3G networks. Like I was there when they came up, right? It's like, oh, 3G. And everybody's thinking about this 3G like, okay, well, what about the people with slow connections? Which where most of your customers are isn't even a factor. But let's just say it is. Let's just say you really want to make sure everybody has great experience, even if they're in the ultra rural area, whatever. And maybe I'm just thinking about this wrong. But the way I think about 3G, you gotta
hit me. I want to offer my take.
Here's how I think about 3G. The problem with 3G is not just that it's slow. Okay. But that it is unreliable. It has worse HTTP connections. It drops the network more often. HTTP requests fail more often. Okay. So testing 3G over your fiber connection where you are faking 3G is not actually testing the biggest problem with 3G, which is that 20% of the time, like the request is just going to straight fail. And what happens then? And so are you actually properly testing your optimistic UI? Because you're testing it like it will complete eventually. But my theory is it's not going to ever complete. There's things that will never complete. So what happens when it never completes? How does it retry and blah, blah. And maybe their stacks handle all that. I don't know. But the Chrome tools do not simulate that as far as I can tell. Like I dug around a little bit on this. They don't simulate straight failure. Like you can just make it slow and whatever. But that's not the same as failing. And it's going to fail a lot because that's what it does. So even that whole thing is insane because they're not testing the worst part. And to me, it's like, then I don't want optimistic if it's going to fail half the time. Like I want it to know for sure it's saved, not guess that it's saved. But anyway, I don't know. What do you think about it? Maybe I'm wrong.
I wondered if it was ever going to come around to what do you think about it?
Yeah, no. I got to get it off my chest.
Like, hey, what's your take on this? And then you're going to just give me the whole take.
I got to give you my take.
I don't know. I think testing on 3G is silly. I actually never thought about the unreliability and the false tests that
Nobody does.
Chrome dev tools would be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it makes me a bad developer, but I just don't care about optimistic UI. And I know that people right now, I know that Sam Selikov, hi Sam, is listening because he's DM'd me about optimistic UI before, and I'm like, it's just not like my world. And I actually talked on the phone to Ryan Florence last week, and I was like, I just, breaking news. I just don't care about optimistic UI. That's just not my world. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I'm fine when I click a save button if the little save button turns into a little spinner until it's committed on the back end, and then it says, great, you're good to go now. Like that's okay with me. So I don't think about the 3G unreliability because I don't think about optimistic UI because I don't super care about it, which is not to say that it's bad or wrong. I just don't care about it. And I think that's where people get hung up. It's like, when I say I don't super care about it, they're like, you need to care about it. I care
so bizarre.
about it. And I'm like, that's great. I'm happy that you care about it. I care about other things that a lot of people don't care about. I care about like database schemas and stuff. And I don't really like, I don't belittle or berate people that don't care about it. It's just like, that's the world that I live in. So yeah, but
I mean, I think Levels had a tweet on this the other day, which Levels has some of his own weird stuff going on. But he's like, basically all of his customers are in America is the shorthand version of it. And it's like, yes, this is the reality. Like, I don't really see the upside, especially if you're bootstrapping or in any way have limited funding. Like, yeah, if you have $100 million that you raised, yeah, whatever, do whatever you want. But like, if you're unlimited amount of money, like you can't be spending your time optimizing for these really crazy esoteric scenarios when like if you're selling a B2B app and everybody's sitting in an office or sitting in their house with high-speed internet, like you don't need to optimize for the crazy slow connections. Like it's not a thing that people are going to hit. And again, I think this came up when I was beefing with Twitter guys. Like in 20 years, I've literally never had a customer say it's too slow. HubSpot's too slow in the sense of these things they're talking about, like a modal or a save button that takes a fraction of a second or any of these things. Like there's definitely been speed issues on big accounts where they have a lot of data or whatever, like database type stuff.
Issues.
And we fix those and whatever. But like not just like, oh, this modal takes a fraction of a second. It's super annoying me. Like, what can you guys fix this? Like literally never had that kind of feature request ever once. And so it's like how valuable could it possibly be, especially we've all used tons of React apps now, Livewire apps. Like they're very fast. Like they're sending the minimal amount of data over the wire. Like they're very fast. Like, so even on slower connections, they're still very fast. So again, unless you have to contrive a really extreme scenario to make it be unreasonably slow. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this tweet I had, I thought was cool. A couple things about this tweet. This is the first tweet I've ever had that went like super viral. I've never had all my years on Twitter like the crazy viral tweet that got to like 1 million views or whatever. I don't know how many views. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands or 1 million views.
I gotta look it up. Yeah, keep going.
But yeah, the tweet was just that like it wasn't just that I've had one customer in 19 years because we have a number of those, but the very first customer who ever paid for HubSpot is still a customer today and has paid every year
crazy for
19 years. And
dude, just 515,000 impressions.
Okay, 515,000. Yeah,
that's
pretty
wild.
Good. It is crazy.
That's
great. You can see why people get addicted to this because I was like, oh, I picked up like 400 followers like out of nowhere, and this is why people
first hit's free.
Yeah, exactly. I can see why people are like, well, let's just fight with people all day because that's what gets people to the tweet to go viral and the algo, and then I get more followers, right? So I get it.
Resist. You must resist.
I'm resisting. But I think this is a positive tweet, right? Like, yeah, if you're fully in depth on everything, it's like you might see a little bit of a half side swipe that it is, but in and of itself, it's like, hey, like go out there, build shit, do stuff, as Aaron Francis says.
Amazing. That's a good tip. Yeah.
And then, sometimes things happen. Like if you pick again, I would go B2B. Like this is the beauty of B2B. Like it's hard to get a consumer to pay you for 19 years. Like, but business, like they could pay you forever. And here's the weird thing about Twitter. The number of people who replied that this was my mom, like specifically that this was my mom, is like got to be 20 people replied to this tweet with that. Yeah. And I was like, this is such a bizarre thing. Why is everybody saying it's my mom?
It makes no sense.
It makes no sense. You want to say I left my credit card in there as a test? Haha. Okay, whatever. Lame joke.
Man,
but like that's my mom? I don't know. It's very weird.
People on Twitter as a whole are just not that funny.
They're not.
They're just not that funny. I feel, and maybe it's representative of like the population, but I feel like 10%, maybe 5% of people on Twitter are funny, and the other 90 or 95 are just like repeating the same jokes that they've heard elsewhere, or like the same bits forever and ever and ever. And this is a great example of that. Like that's not even, I don't know if that's an insult or a joke, but either way, it's not a good either. Yeah,
no, it's not a good either.
Whichever one, it's bad.
Yeah, I don't know. And I was like, maybe I'm too old. Maybe this is like a whole thing that I missed. That like your mom buys your products for 19 years or something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, your mom buys your software, like.
And then a lot of people thought it was consumer software. And I'm like, dude, it's like a $600 purchase every year for 19 years. Like, what consumer software is that? Like, all consumer software is like $1 now or free or whatever. It's like, but anyway, No, that was cool. Like literally the first customer we ever had.
That's
and like
pretty cool.
I went through some other ones, like not many of the other like very first customers are still customers, which is to be expected. But the very first one's still a customer. So it's really cool. It's like, yeah, it's like how these things build up, 19 times 600, pretty good chunk of change. And
Pretty good.
Just adds up. You get a handful of these and it's workable for a small team. Yeah. So I don't know. That was cool. It's like one of those like things. Maybe somebody will get some inspiration from it. Who knows?
Yeah. Very cool. Good tweet. Great tweet.
Good tweet. People love the visuals. It's good. I think that was
love
the
the
key,
visuals,
right?
yep.
It's like here is a list of like all 19 transactions and
yep,
all that stuff.
Yep.
People are chiming in.
Anytime you can add an image or a little video or anything, it's gonna be good. That helps.
People were chiming in that it was ID number 1. Weren't using UUIDs.
Yep.
No UUIDs.
Sorry. Nope.
Just
I was able to calculate the number of customers you have based on the spacing of your invoices. Yep.
Giving away all the secrets.
Yep.
That would actually be a little bit harder. Interestingly, because like the way it worked up until like 10 years ago is since it was an owned license, like people would actually have more than one transaction a year because like if they would add licenses or they pay support and there was just more transactions. But now that it's subscription, most customers are like just once a year. But so in the later years, that would be pretty accurate ish. Anyway, all right. What else is going on? So you got the big move.
Got the big move,
man.
Boy, that was bad. It was pretty bad.
It's still bad.
I'm not gonna lie. It's still kind of bad. Yeah, a little. I mean, it's getting better every day. It's getting better. So, we had the big move scheduled for like a Monday, maybe 2 weeks ago or something like that. And then a freak storm came through Dallas, just like massive storm, huge number of branches down all over the city. And so the move got pushed from like Monday to Tuesday because the new house didn't have power. And so it's like, well, shoot, we're going to go move into this house that has no power. That's not going to work.
Yeah.
So at this point, Jennifer and the au pair Jasmine and all 4 kids are at Jennifer's parents' house because it was like, we're going to move the next day and the kids need somewhere to sleep and be normal. And so they're already at Jennifer's parents' house. Then we lose power at the new house. And so Jennifer and Jasmine and the kids end up staying at her parents' house for like a full week because of all the stuff that I'm about to explain that has gone terribly wrong. Right. Not only that, Jennifer's sister and my sister-in-law and brother-in-law, all their kids, they lost power too. So they're at Jennifer's parents' house. And so Jennifer's parents, it's crazy. So we live in a city or a state that is given to high winds and tornadoes, and all of our power lines are up in the air next to the trees. It's like, I should have buried that. Too late now. So Jennifer's parents are basically running a summer camp at this point. They've got like 1 million kids over there.
Wow. The sister-in-law's kids and everybody are over there too.
Yeah. Okay, so there are at least 8 kids there because it's 4 and 4. And then the other sister and her kids came over a few days. So at some points it was 10 children over there.
Cow.
And they're the best. They just love it. And they're so good at being grandparents. But that's anyway, so, we put off the move for one day. Then the power comes back on, but only half of the new house has power.
Well, that's not
half.
Good.
Random,
right?
That's
weird. Yeah.
So at this point, I'm like, okay, well, we can't put off the move anymore. Like we've scheduled movers. So they come and they move everything. We move into the new house and it's hot and muggy because like the AC's not working. And so I'm in there trying to like unpack as fast as I can and get stuff like a semblance of normalcy. And it's just miserable and muggy because half of the house that was off was the AC as well. So I'm like, half of the power off and half the power on doesn't seem good. That seems like a unsafe
something's blown
setup.
up.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Yeah.
So I go out in the yard and sure enough, there's a branch on the line between the pole and the house. And apparently we had 2 lines coming into the house and one was taken out. And so there goes the AC. So I'm like, F. all right, well, let's get this done. We get it fixed, fortunately. And this is like
Okay.
over the
That's
course
pretty
of
quick.
many, many days,
Oh,
right?
okay.
So I'm
Not quick.
like sleeping in the rent house on the floor because they've already moved the bed,
Right.
but I can't go sleep at the new house because there's no AC. And Jennifer's parents' house is full. I'm not about to go over there where
Yeah,
it's
you wanna
chaos.
be
So I'm
part of
sleeping
that,
on the
yeah.
floor in the rent house for a couple of days. They fix the power. Then it all comes back on, and the upstairs AC doesn't work.
Of
Just
course.
doesn't work. And so now the
Obviously.
kids are at the house. I've got portable AC units in the kids'
Oh my
room.
god.
Yeah.
So you
And
checked the breakers, you checked all
checked
that
the breakers,
stuff. There
checked
was nothing
everything.
obvious. Okay.
Nothing obvious. The contractor's like, hey, we checked it. You're going to have to replace the unit. And I'm like, F that. I'm not
Oh,
doing that.
no.
So I called out
Yeah.
2 AC companies, and they're both like, hey, it's broken. You're going to have to replace the unit. Both of
Oh,
them
no.
said that. I was like, God dang it. So then we had to replace a full AC unit.
Oh my gosh.
Just the whole thing. Brand
What
new.
is that, like 7,000, 8,000?
Fortunately, no. That's what both AC companies quoted me, but the contractor did it for $2,500, which
Oh, wow.
is still a poke in the eye, but it's better than
Yeah.
$7,000.
Okay.
And then, they're there fixing the electrical, and they're like, "Oh, by the way, the wire from the roof down to your breaker isn't rated for the load that it's under." And I'm like, "Okay, that's
That's
bad.
part-
Is that a fire
part of the
hazard?" And they're
issue.
like, "Yeah, it's a fire hazard." I'm like, "Great." So today, they're at the house. The power's off at the house, and they're replacing wires at the house again. I'm like, "What? How long is this gonna last?" And they're over there fixing the floors because they didn't do it right the first time. I'm like,
Oh,
guys,
no.
I don't care. Everyone just get out of my house.
Yeah, and it's like they've
So-
been there for 8 months. Like, you guys didn't
They've been there
notice
for
this
8 months.
wire?
What have you been
Like,
doing?
Yeah.
How did you not know this? So yeah,
Oh my
it's been
gosh.
pretty bad and pretty frustrating. But we're moved in. Things are starting to get a little bit better. But it's been kind of brutal, and I never want to do it again.
Man.
Right?
I don't like the sound of any of that. Like, we've been having some of that stuff in our house, like, just nothing that major, but like every year, basically, a mouse gets into the air conditioning condenser unit and shorts something. The guy comes every year. So like this year, I'm like, dude, like, is there something I can do? Because like, he's like, no, I can just come fix every time. I was like, but like the mice frying electronics inside the air conditioning unit doesn't seem optimal for anything involved here.
You gotta stop putting
I gotta
peanut butter in your
research
AC unit. They keep climbing in there to eat it.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing where mice can get into. But yeah, our fridge has this like, the fridge guy's coming today because like the seal seems like maybe it's gone. It's getting
It's a
water
scam.
vapor.
Home ownership
Like,
is a scam.
oh my god,
Renting,
ridiculous.
I will say, renting, I never felt super at ease because I felt like the landlord at any moment could be like, hey,
Right.
we're moving back from, wherever they were. I think, I don't know, they were on they work for PepsiCo and they were out of the country. And I just felt like at any moment they could say, you're out of a house. Good luck.
Right.
You've got 60 days. And that made me extremely nervous. But
Yeah.
owning a home is like, it's just a money pit. It's just
It really
continue
is.
to pay money down the drain.
So how the kids doing in the new house?
Kids are doing okay. Big kids are crying a lot because it's like new house, new noises. There's house sounds. Every house has sounds, and this house has sounds. And they're doing okay, but there's a swing in the front yard. They really like the new swing.
Oh, nice.
So we spent untold amounts of money on a house, and they're like, "We love the swing." It's like, great, that's awesome. Enjoy the swing. But yeah, they're doing great. Little kids are fine. They don't understand anything because they're babies. So yeah, it's going okay. I will say I've discovered there are some hot rooms and some cold rooms in the house. Right?
Okay.
A little bit uneven. It's kind of a little bit older house, so it's not maybe like the most eco friendly.
Right.
And so here's the situation. And I think I found a cool solution. Some rooms get blasted with AC and some just get the trickle. And so like our bedroom is quite warm and like the living room is quite cold. It's like, oh, that's kind of frustrating, right?
Yeah.
So here's what I looked up.
Okay.
We've got the smart thermostats, but what good is that, right? Because it's like you just set the temperature and it cools the whole downstairs to some arbitrary temperature that's close. The solution is smart vents. So the little vents that come out of the wall, and you can like have a little damper on it, and you can close it if it's blowing too hard or something. there are such thing as smart vents
Okay.
where they
Yeah.
are they're electronic. So
Oh
what you
boy.
can do is you put these smart vents in all the rooms, and then
Mhm.
you also have to put a little corresponding like it's a puck, but it's like a not a thermostat, a
Right.
thermometer, so that
Mhm.
you know how cold or hot each room is.
Yep.
And then what it does is it interfaces with your smart thermostat. So it's like
Mm.
it will tell the main thermostat, hey, turn on the air. And then in all the cold rooms, it closes the vents and it just pumps air into the hot room
Oh
until that
boy.
room levels out. And then if
Uh-huh.
then it's just opening and
Yeah.
closing the dampers all over
Uh,
the house while controlling the main thermostat to keep the air moving. And I'm like,
mm.
this is great. This is the exact thing that I need. So I'm gonna buy a whole set of these, and I'll report back to tell you. You don't like it? You're giving me a wince. What are
I
you
don't love
thinking?
it. I don't love
What are
it.
you? This is
I mean,
great.
first of all, you're gonna need an electrician all over the place
No, no,
installing
no, no.
power to
They're
all these
batteries.
things.
They're
No, the
batteries.
battery?
Yeah.
That's even worse.
No, that's even better.
Now you got
C
all the time
batteries.
you're replacing batteries. All right.
No, 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 no.
Can I give you an alternate solution?
I
Which
won't like it,
I
but
have
yeah.
done myself, this solution, and
Yeah.
it does work.
Sure. Okay.
It's a little more simple. It's a little more straightforward.
I hate it already. Okay.
I know you want a fleet of 50
I want a fleet,
mechanical
yeah.
battery replacement
Yes.
required little flappers.
Exactly.
I get it.
And I want new apps, and I want things
You
talking
want
to each other.
all this
Okay.
stuff. Yeah, so when this company goes out of business in 3 years and the
You're
app's
gonna be all
not
bricked, and I'm gonna be
managed,
furious. Yeah.
you're gonna be very pumpy. All right, so
Mhm.
here's an alternative you could consider.
Okay.
We did this at our house.
Okay.
Okay. So you have the thermostat. It says, "Hey, pump cold air," right? And
Yeah,
yes,
good
so it
so
just
far.
pumps all the cold air, but some rooms get more than others,
Sure.
and it's crappy. What you can do is you can put a baffle into the actual air conduits and it makes a junction,
Mm-hmm.
and then that does like what you're saying, but it just does it in one spot. And so like when the one room gets cold enough, the baffle will close in there, and then all the air will continue to go to the other rooms, and that'll be it. It's just
Exactly what
one
I'm
spot.
describing. What is different?
No,
You're just
this
using
is
this word baffle that no one has
yeah,
ever heard of.
no, it's
What?
in the air
It's
duct.
the
So
same
the air
thing.
duct is a big pipe that comes out of the
I
air.
know what an air
right?
duct
Okay.
is. I know it's
So
a
you
big
do
pipe.
it at the air duct. You have one of these baffles. You only need one, or maybe you would need two, but or one for each level or whatever. And you don't have to have 50 of them.
I don't have
all the
50
vents.
rooms, and you're
Well,
telling me I got to
you
go
got a lot of
get.
rooms.
I got a lot of rooms. Thank you, I appreciate
Yeah.
that. And you're telling me instead I got to go get into the AC, the
Yeah,
vent.
you have to have the
something, like,
heater guy
climb in
do
there?
this. No,
No,
you
I
shouldn't
can
do it.
No, I can do this
No,
myself.
you shouldn't do any of it. Let's just be clear with
I
that to begin
should
with.
do all of it. So wait, here's the question.
How many of these you're gonna need? Like literally 30 of these these mechanical vent things, aren't you?
I need like 6 or 7 for downstairs. I'm gonna try it with downstairs
just for downstairs.
first.
All right.
Yeah. Well, who's controlling the baffle?
Also, I will say I've tried this thing before too. Now I don't know if these close more tightly, but in the regular type that you probably have on there now,
Yeah.
you can do it manually, right? Like, and I don't know. I played that game with closing them off manually, and enough seeps through that it doesn't really stop the air. It's not a seal. It's just like a directional thing, really, more than a seal.
These
sound
are
like maybe they're
seals. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They're seals. Yeah.
All right. So that might be better, but I don't know.
The
I'd go
system
for
you
the
described
central.
to me sounds so much worse because
No, it's so much better.
It sounds less precise. It sounds harder to install, and I still don't know in your world who's controlling the baffle. Do you still have thermometers in each room that speak back to the baffles?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
The thermometers control it. So like our upstairs has 2 thermometers, one in the master bedroom, one in one of the kids' bedroom, and then the baffle splits between our the master and the kids' zone, which is like 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. So
okay,
it could be open fully, so both sides are getting air. But then like if ours reaches temperature, the baffle to our side closes inside the duct, and then only their side's getting air until their thermostat says it's enough, and then that's it.
Well, I appreciate you bringing up this this alternative to me. There's 0% chance I'm going to go with your system.
It's so much better.
Literally zero, like maybe less
Who's
than
ever
zero.
been like, let me add what 100 batteries to my daily routine of changing? It's insanity.
The numbers just keep going up.
How many? I mean, it's got to have 3 or 4 batteries, and you're gonna have. If you actually do this, you're gonna have 20 of them.
C-size batteries, so they're big batteries.
See,
so
those
they last.
big ones.
What? That's good. They last longer.
How do you replace this thing? You have to take the whole thing apart to replace the battery. Like you have to pull it out of the wall, I guess?
No, I think you just take the decorative register off, and then you can change the battery and put the decorative register back on.
I don't know.
No, you're being ridiculous. You're being a no man. You're being a no man.
Just do it right. No, I'm gonna do it right.
I am doing it right.
No, this is not the right way to do it.
This is the right way.
Not the right way to do it.
Oh, no, this is
get
crazy.
Your heating and air conditioning guy over there, and he's going to tell you the right way to do it is with the baffles in the air ducts. He's not going to tell you to put 1,000 individually controlled baffles.
Now.
That's insane. It's insanity.
Okay, what? Okay.
Insanity.
Riddle me this. What logistically, what is the difference, or maybe logically, what is the difference between your system and my system? Your system works further upstream. Well, hold on. Yours just works further upstream. It's the exact same system. Mine just works at the river's mouth instead of the river's fork. It's the same thing.
Here's the thing. I haven't thought about mine in 14 years. You're going to have to think
about
yours all the time because it runs out of batteries and you got to run around like an idiot replacing batteries in 20 air ducts. That's insanity. And
so your primary concern is batteries.
And you got to depend on this app and this company that you know is going out of business. That thing's no way that thing's going to still be working in 14 years. You know it's not going to work in 14 years. That's a guarantee.
Oh, yeah, that's probably true.
That's crazy. Yeah, you need something that's just part of the house. This is the mechanical system. You just want it built into the house. You don't want to have a bunch of little individually fiddly things you're messing with, man.
All right, so y'all go to flare.co. That's where I'm going to be buying these things.
I want to see this now.
Flare.co. Let's see. Meet the Flare platform.
You know what's gonna happen. It won't even load. The website won't even load. Where's Ryan right now to tell us how this site is so slow?
It's probably JavaScript. Okay.
Flare.co is an available domain. So.
I spelled F-L-A-I-R. Yeah.
F-L-A-I-R. Okay. All right.
Smart vents, bridge, puck, smart climate control for every room.
I mean, you gotta have a base station. Language. You gotta have a whole separate thing that presumably battery powered that does the temperature, separate from the vent that has its own batteries. So every location has 2 things that need batteries.
I didn't realize you were so big anti-battery.
Oh, come on. I mean, I use them where I have to, but like having to go around and replace dozens and dozens of batteries. I have one regular thing in my life that I have to replace batteries in, and it is terrible. In our master bedroom, we have these big windows, and they just let in, so anyway, we have blinds on them, and we want electric blinds because it's a big, tall window, and like, like on a ship or whatever, right? So, electric thing. And they're battery operated, and they're pretty efficient. It's like every 6 months, but every 6 months you have to get up on this ladder and replace the batteries, or now we've switched just like a month ago, those ones died after 14 years. So we switched to they're chargeable, but you still have to get up on the ladder and like plug it in and charge it, whatever, once every year.
That sounds really hard, Ian. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's only one thing. It's fine. This is insanity. You're literally going to have 20 new thermostats and 20 new vents. Presumably you don't need a thermostat in every room, but still you're going to have 6 new thermostats and 20 or 30 vents. That's crazy, man.
But just imagine. Okay, I just want to paint a picture for you. So maybe I should have sold the vision earlier.
All right, give me the vision.
All right, here's the vision. So the people that sleep downstairs are me and Jennifer and the 2 littlest babies, right?
Okay.
So imagine you set in the little baby's room. You say, I want this room to be 72 degrees. Okay. And then you go to the master bedroom and you're like, man, I want this room to be 66 degrees while I'm sleeping, right?
Yeah.
So then you say, the living room overnight can be 79 degrees.
Right.
And you can set each room individually, and then the network takes over and turns on the main AC and blows it in the baby's room for a little bit, then shuts it off and then cools down the master, but then keeps the living room hot so we're not wasting electricity. So like I'm basically saving the earth at this point, and everyone is sleeping and then you wake up and you're like, oh shoot, it's morning. The system already knows that it's morning, and so it brings the master up to 72. It brings the living down to 74.
This is my system does all this stuff too. It's all the same thing.
There's 0% chance
you
your
just have
system
the
does
baffles
that.
in the duct. That's doing the exact same thing, except it's doing it at a smarter location where it can be hardwired instead of having 30 Wi-Fi enabled little devices to break all the time.
It's awesome. Yeah, maybe I explained it poorly. Maybe I explained it poorly because my system is better and yours is worse, and so I'm just not explaining it right. That's what it is.
You want this centralized, and you want it built into the house, man. You don't want to have all these. You know, these are going to break all the time. It's going to be a nightmare. I want you to do it because then you're gonna do it. I can't believe
it's gonna be
the first
content.
one broke. I can't believe it's broken.
No
it's only
way.
broken after 6 months. This little junky thing is gonna
be great
break
content.
in 2 seconds. It's got moving parts. It's gonna break.
How could it not have moving parts? A baffle has moving parts.
I know, but that's like an industrial thing, and there's only one of them.
You're on about this built into the house industrial thing. Things are just things, Ian. Like this could be a well-made thing.
I mean, these things are $99 each for the small one.
I know they're expensive.
$140 each.
I know they're expensive.
And look at this junky plastic on the back. This thing's gonna be broken in 2 seconds. It's gonna literally be broken in 2 seconds.
No, it's going to be awesome. Look, they even have a 4 Pros section on the website, which means this is a professional thing. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it.
On the ground. Like, oh my God.
I don't control where the vents are. I have vents on the ground.
I'm not saying it's your fault.
That's not my fault. That's not my fault.
I'm saying it is what it is.
Okay,
listen, there's no way. Look, I mean, even their example house, which looks to be quite a small house, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You're going to have at least 40, 50 of these things. You're going to.
I'm not going to have 40.
How could you not? If you don't do all, you have to do all the vents, or it's not going to work.
You have to do all the vents,
right?
On a system. So I'll do all of the downstairs, and we'll see if it works.
Yeah.
I think I counted yesterday. Downstairs we have like 10 vents, something like that.
And upstairs you probably have more rooms, though.
Upstairs we probably have the same number of vents.
You think so?
Because it's the same square footage-ish upstairs.
Yeah, but if they're broken up into more smaller rooms, there'll be more vents.
We'll see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I think you're wrong, but I know what you're saying.
I guarantee you missed a couple.
I don't miss anything.
Guaranteed.
I don't miss anything.
So let's just say there's 12 on the first floor. There's probably 14 on the second floor.
12.
That's 26. And then you got 7 or 8 of these little thermostat things or more.
Yeah.
There's got to be one in each room. How much are the little thermostat things? Let's look at those. Let's see how much the little thermostat
how much
things
is it?
are.
How much is it to have a professional come out and install
They're $119 each. I mean, we're at like $10,000 for you to do your whole house in the system. Yes, we are.
Not even close. No
right,
way it's going to be
5,000.
No way.
You don't think?
No way. No
Let's
way.
see, 26 times, let's say they're average 119 because they're different prices. So that's 3,100 there. And you're going to need like 8 of those puck things at 119, I think they were. So you're at 4,000. That's, I don't know. And then you need the bridge.
Kind of a lot. Yeah.
So you're going to be at close to 5,000.
I don't think that's true. If that's true,
the numbers.
If that's true, I'm not going to do it. That's the
well, you might want to figure that out before you order half of a house of them. Well, we got half the house. Too bad for the people who live upstairs.
Mom and Dad's room is awesome. You kids, head on upstairs.
See, that to me is a better solution. Like, if you just want to do your room, just do your room. But see, I think your problem's the opposite, which is a problem for you because it's your room that's hot, right?
My room is hot, yeah.
Yeah, see, so it won't work like that. If you could just do your room, yeah, whatever. Just do your room and it's a couple things. But like, you have to block all the other rooms so that your room actually gets cold. That's the issue.
I agree. Yeah. Yep. I know.
You could even, for $5,000, you could even do your own little, one of those like in-wall, I forget what they call it.
Get a mini split.
Yeah, mini split. Yeah. Do that. Just
I'm not getting a mini split. This is not going to be $5,000. This is going to be great. It's going to be a little bit expensive, but I'm going to save the earth in the process. So that's awesome. This is a good idea, and I appreciate your support.
It doesn't save. It's not saving anything because if 7 of the rooms say don't give me air, but the 8th
Yeah.
one does. The 8th one's the air is still going, full bore,
Right,
full
right.
blast.
It's still going, but for so much less time.
Sure.
Because I'm not cooling down the living room that nobody's in.
Yeah, but you could do that with the properly built system too.
Okay, these words you're choosing are very offensive. This whole proper and
Oh man,
built-in.
you're gonna have 40 Internet of Things devices, cheap plastic. Well, not cheap, expensive.
Poisoning our
Internet
brain
of
with
Things.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, all the Wi-Fi eaten into your
Yeah.
brain. I don't know, man. I'm not a believer, but I'm excited to hear how you do with it. I'm excited to check it out in person, possibly if I can get over there at Laracon time.
Glad I brought it up. Yeah, if you come over for Laracon, I'm gonna put you in the back room and close all the other vents. You're gonna see how amazing it is.
I'm not gonna say hi to your kids. I'm not gonna say hi to your wife. I'm gonna be like, let's get right to business. We gotta check this.
Ian, go back to our bedroom. My wife's gonna be like, what the hell is going on here?
Oh boy. I'm glad we settled that. That
yeah, we definitely.
Any other move
that.
stuff? What else with the move? Everything's in place. You got the stuff on the shelves, or you're not?
No.
Oh man,
we got the kitchen stuff on the kitchen shelves, of course.
That's critical. Yeah.
But yeah, TV's not set up.
Oh wow, you're still not TV set up. Ooh.
Oh, don't worry, we're watching TV on the laptop. So
yeah, I know.
It's not like we're not watching TV. That would be horrifying. So yeah, I've still got to set up like paintings, and we don't fully even know the layout of the living room, and got to get the rugs steamed because they're all wrinkly now, and just yeah, I know. I used to live in a house with like 6 other dudes and then slept on a floor, and it was like, oh, this is easy. Now I got to worry about steaming rugs because they're wrinkly.
Domestication.
Give me a break, man. Come on.
You used to be a lion out there, in the fields.
I did.
Catching prey.
I used to eat pizza every night and play FIFA and just party. So and when I say party, I mean eat pizza and play FIFA. But this is better. It's just more expensive. This is better.
You better start selling some courses here. What's going on with the courses? We haven't had a course update.
God, you gotta sell so many courses. Oh,
everybody's got to buy these courses so that
y'all gotta
Eric
buy
can get his Internet of Things doodads to his house.
Yeah. Don't make me take out a home equity loan to buy these doodads. I need y'all to come through. In fact, I don't even think I have any equity in my home at this point, so that's not even an option.
Don't even do that. Yeah.
All right, the course.
Yeah.
Here's the deal. The course is going to be good. There's always a period of like, man, this was a bad idea, and I'm very stupid. And I think I've passed the point of I am very stupid.
A pit of despair.
I'm into the point of like, great, this is going to be good. I just gotta I gotta do it. So at this point, I think I have maybe 11 videos recorded. And the goal is you're gonna laugh at this. The goal is to record like 50 this week.
I thought I was cringing when I thought it was 50 total. 50 this week.
50 more this week. Yeah.
I don't think I even like the sound of that, to be honest.
No,
I'm gonna be dead by the end of that. I feel like
this is worse than the batteries thing.
Yeah,
this is crazy.
Way worse. This is actually crazy. Like the other thing is just a little side adventure, whatever. I don't know.
It's just Aaron being Aaron. This is insane. Yeah, so we're a little bit behind schedule because of the move. I essentially took an entire week off because it was like I'm just managing this whole process. Yeah. So we're a little bit behind schedule, which is fine. It's only, a deadline of our own making, so it's totally fine. So yeah, the first round of videos is coming out really good, and I'm like really happy with the way that it's almost like a performance. I'm really happy with the way I've performed in these videos. So I'll hopefully finish most of those up this week, and then I'm handing them over to Steve as I go, but I'm just basically going to just bombard him with videos this week. And then while he's underwater on that, I will switch over and build out the back end of the course platform. He's built out the front end. It's crazy. Steve's also a developer. It's just like
it's like such a weird combo.
I know. Yeah. Everybody needs their own Steve.
Yeah, that'd be handy.
So I'll work on the back end of the platform, and then hopefully we'll launch it. Maybe 3 weeks from now, something like that.
So it seems though like like if you don't like you could not do 50 videos all at once. Like you could do like 15, 15, 15, and then like be working on the back end in the middle. Like he can't process 50 videos.
Yeah. There's some amount of it that's momentum.
Yeah, I guess
and some
that's true.
amount that's like, if I can just power through these videos, I will feel better.
Right, just check
Versus
mark.
versus like dragging them out.
Yeah.
So that's part of the game I'm
Alright.
playing, is like a mental game.
Mm.
And it might actually end up being that I try as hard as I can and I get 20 done this week, and it just ends up being, 20, 20, 15, 10,
How do you
whatever.
record them? Like, do you just like go one to the other, or is each one like discrete? Like is it one chunk that you break up, or is it like discrete?
Each one's discrete.
Stopped. Okay.
Yeah, each one's discrete, start and stop. I do record them in order, which I think is important, so I know what I can reference and know what I can build upon,
Right.
versus just assuming that they know something without like having taught it. So I do them in order, but I do it in discrete chunks for sure. Yeah, and that also helps because Steve can give me feedback and we can tweak as I go, as he watches and edits them, which is going to be helpful. So the interview series that I'm doing alongside this is going pretty well. That's the one I got DHH for.
Right.
And I got Ben Johnson, the creator of Lightstream, Light FS, which is SQLite stuff. And then we should have one coming out today with a guy named Carl. And I worked briefly with Carl when he was at Single Store. I wrote their Laravel driver for Single Store. Carl used to work there. And he's working on a local first multiplayer SQLite, which is very, very interesting. And so I'm finding these interviews to be a whole lot of fun, because I feel like I have the right amount of knowledge to ask questions that I genuinely am interested in the answers to, because I don't have enough knowledge to like already know the answers. Right. And so I'm right at that sweet spot where like, if I wasn't here, I wouldn't be able to ask the right questions. But if I was beyond it, I would just be feigning interest because I already know the answer. And so it's just kind of like a fun spot to be in. And I think people are really enjoying those. And so I'm hoping that continues to grow the list and gets people ready for the launch, that sort of thing. So
yeah, how did they did I guess we only done one, the Ben one, but that did okay. I haven't watched that one yet.
Did like 40,000 views maybe, and Ben Johnson has gotten maybe like 6 or 7. I think the Ben Johnson one is probably better for like its purpose, which is reach SQLite people. The DHH one is good for people want to hear DHH talk, and so like serves a different purpose. Yeah. So yeah, we'll probably put the one out with Carl today. I've got one lined up with Kent C. Dodds. I'm gonna talk to Glauber, the CEO of Terso. I'm trying to talk to Primeagen because he uses SQLite. I had Nuno booked, but then I got sick, and so I had to cancel on Nuno. So I'm gonna reschedule with Nuno because his little app Pinkery uses SQLite. So it's going well. I feel really under the gun. I feel really, really stressed right now, just with the move and the course and money flying out the door. Flying out the door, and what's the biggest plane possible? That's how the money is leaving the door. We're just loaded up into a 787. Yeah, and it flies out the door. So feeling a little nervous about that. Trying to keep the house a pleasant place to be. But it's like there's so many people working, and kids are trying to nap, and so I feel a lot of stress and pressure about that. And it's just like, I just need things. I need things to like finish and not be midstream. So
yeah,
we'll get there.
It's always been my experience that all these things happen at once, and just like there's something about the universe like that. It's like, oh, you're just gonna have all this stuff happen at once, and that's just all there's gonna be to it. And then you'll have all these periods where you don't do as much as you could have done, and because they're calm, and you're laying back a little bit, and you're like, okay, it's calm, and then I'm moving and I'm building the course and I'm doing all this stuff, and
exactly,
all a lot.
It's all a lot.
Sounds pretty good overall. It seems like.
Pretty good overall. If I can continue to manage stress and just produce videos, I'll be very happy.
Do you have any concerns? I don't have any
Yes.
idea for this market um, of launching in like July or late
No.
June.
Should I?
I don't know. Like people on vacation, people are like checked out, kids are just getting out of school. Like I have no idea if that's a factor. I know like in my stuff, it's sometimes the summer seems a little bit
Yeah.
lighter than other times of the year, but yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know. I feel like I could argue both ways. I think the
Yeah,
argument the other way is like I feel partially like SQLite is a prosumer or like exploratory
yeah,
technology, and so maybe the lull is even better because it's like,
they have
hey, everybody's kind
time.
of checked out. Let me like tinker a little bit.
Yeah,
So I don't really know
yeah,
if I should be concerned or not, but I'm concerned about a lot
probably.
of things. That is not
Right.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the alternative is like hold it till September, which feels like that's
Got
not
Postgres to
great.
do, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Got stuff queued up already. So
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
Oh my goodness. Oh, the
Yeah.
Postgres one. That one's gonna be killer. That's gonna be
That's
that'll be a
that's the
big one.
big dog, man.
Yeah.
I'm
I like
gonna
these
I
two back
am
to back.
I've already committed to Steve that Postgres I'm starting way, way earlier. Like
Like
by the time we launch a tweet that like Postgres is coming, I hope to have,
more in the can. Yeah.
15 videos done already at that point.
I'm always torn on those things because, like, yeah, that's the way I've always kind of been about stuff. But it does hurt you sometimes. I don't know about for a course, it's a little bit different. But for like the software product, it's like, if you're not out there really early, it does hurt you a little bit to not be collecting
Hmm.
emails and getting people to know about it. But on the flip side, when you collect that email and then you don't actually ship anything for 8 months, then that
Right.
has its own problems because people don't even remember what you were doing and they
Yep.
found other solutions and whatever. So, um, but yeah, I mean, certainly for your stuff, I feel like that would be great to be like, because then you could also even just have everything set up. You could have like a whole sequence of videos and
Yeah,
clips and
exactly.
all that stuff to really lean
Like
into it and have it
subscribe to the list
organized.
and get the first 5 videos, like that sort of
Right,
thing.
stuff like
'Cause
that. And
couldn't do that with SQLite because it wasn't done yet.
didn't have it, yeah. Or even like on social media, clips and things to get people excited, and you're like the trailers you guys do, and you could have like a
Yep.
2 or 3 of them instead of like a movie instead of just really the one. Since that one works so good, presumably
know,
maybe
it's
if you
crazy.
did a couple, would drop in some different things along the way, that could be exciting. So yeah, I like it. All right, well, that's kind of, I guess, the course update. Well, I can't wait till next week now to hear if you
Yeah.
record 50 videos. That's gonna be
Hear
wild.
how many air vents I bought and how many videos I got recorded.
All right, so the only other thing I had on the list here is, I don't know, we haven't really talked about this shockingly, but are you an Apple guy? Are you a WWDC follower? WWDC is today.
Like many things in my life, I am very happy with Apple products, but I don't really get super like into it. And so
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, my MacBook's great. It works. That's about it. I'm just
right.
gonna be happy with it.
So
So I don't really follow WWDC.
you're
I
not
used to,
watching.
like in college, I used to watch WWDC and
Right.
watch, This Week in Tech with Leo Laporte and be like
Yeah,
inside baseball the whole time. Now I'm
right.
just like, I guess I got too much to do. My AC doesn't work. I'm gonna go home. Like that sort of stuff. So tell me, what are we expecting from WWDC?
I think AI stuff is kind of the big thing, and
Oh,
seeing how they
brother.
integrate it. Yeah. Which, I mean, there's still all this interesting stuff with AI. It's like, what can you actually do with it, really?
Mhm.
And it's like, I don't know, a lot of the rumor stuff is like kind of your standard. It's summarize emails or whatever,
Yes.
kind of like, okay, like a lot of the like cool stuff is stuff they already do with like machine learning, which is just like not an LLM, but it's still sort of AI, right? And that's what they were already
It's
doing
AI
before.
that is like reproducible, like where you can actually do things
specialized,
with it. Yeah.
reproducible AI, like useful AI, but they were already
Yeah.
doing that. I assume they'll relabel it AI, but like that's kind of stuff they already did. So yeah, I don't know. I guess
Is this not the time we get new refreshes on any hardware? Is this a different thing?
occasionally there's hardware at WWDC, like with the Macs, but I think the rumor
Yeah.
is that there's not going to be any hardware, so
Okay.
there shouldn't be any like big hardware unless it's like a super secret surprise thing. So yeah, I don't think there's going to be any hardware. It's going to be this is one of the things I like about. I've always wanted to do like an iOS app because I do think it is cool. Like they have so many APIs and like they're
Mhm.
always adding stuff, and everybody's on their phone all the time. That is like the main computing platform, obviously, of the modern era. So I always get intrigued a little bit by like what APIs they launch. Like presumably they'll have AI APIs, and they'll be better than kind of the stuff we're forced to use on the web with the open AI or different things that are like okay, but they can only do what they can do because it's not a deeply integrated sort of SDK API scenario. It's just like, yeah, throw some stuff over the wall and we'll throw some stuff back, right? Like that's kind of how it has to be. So I don't know, that'll be kind of cool. Like I don't get all the way into watching like the actual technical talks of the APIs and stuff for the most part, but so yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping I like when they come up with something cool that people are excited about. I don't know. It seems like Apple's a little more behind than they have been in the
It
past.
does, yeah, it does seem that way.
I don't know if they're gonna have that for us. And then the Vision Pro stuff's kind of like nobody cares,
Vision
right?
Pro
so if there's a bunch of that, who knows?
Was technical majesty that nobody really cared about.
Yeah, nobody wants to wear a computer on their face. Like that's just
I do, but I don't want to wear that computer on my face.
If you want to wear glasses that have a computer in them.
I want to sit at my desk with a computer on my face. That's the ultimate to me.
I don't know.
So I can just have my full
stuff. Like,
yeah, that's why I don't want to wear that one because it sucks.
Right, yeah,
but I have my full 3D computing environment. In fact, I want to have like a chair that reclines, so I have like a zero gravity chair,
be like floating. Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
I do
it
want
sounds
that
expensive, you know, but it sounds awesome.
It could be worth it. Yeah, if it could be executed in a way that didn't hurt your neck and had more than an hour battery life and all that stuff, which maybe they'll get there. Who knows? I'm not too optimistic on that. I don't know. I feel like that technology hasn't advanced too much.
Optimistic. Yeah, not anytime soon, I don't think.
Yeah. Even if you had to plug in, that would be fine, but I just don't think they're going to have like the light, transparent screen, like the stuff you'd really want to make it sci-fi awesome. Like I just don't think that's really on the agenda anytime soon. So
yeah. Well, I'll be curious to get your takes on WWDC next week. I'll tell you how many videos and how many events, and you tell me what happened at WWDC.
Right. All right, sounds good. Thanks, everybody. Follow us at, catch up on the old episodes, I guess, at mostlytechnical.com. Twitter, mostlytechpod for the hot takes, and write into mostlytechnicalpodcast at Gmail with feedback. And, of course, on YouTube, comment down below. Especially on Aaron's vent situation. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that.
Yes. Tell me how right I am. I would love to be vindicated.
All right, everybody. Thanks. See you next week.
See ya.
Bye.